What if I told you the way that most companies track their metrics is backwards? What if I also told you the way that they do that actually produces stress, resentment, and frustration, and it reinforces inconsistent sales? When I see companies that are struggling, when they're lacking sales or they have inconsistent sales, it's because they lack a system of magnitude. Now, what is magnitude? Magnitude is simply the measurement of how something impacts something else. Now, when you're trying to get after revenue, that's definitely important. You want to track that. It gives you the score, it helps on the P&L. But let me ask you, objectively, what does revenue do to make your team better? Nothing. It's like a coach who just goes and coaches the game, keeps score, and then does nothing in between, tracks nothing else, and then shows up to the next game. That's what you're doing month in, month out, when all you're doing is tracking the revenue or maybe a few key objectives. You're not tracking the activity that produces the results. And the reason you want to track the activity that produces the results is because that's the only thing that you can control. You can't control what happens on the outside. You can't control what the competition does or what your customers do, but you can control the activities that produce the sale. And I can tell you, when you don't track the activities that produce the sale, you're only going to encourage your team, one, to not follow the sales process. Two, you're not going to hold them accountable to what they need to do day in and day out. Consistency is key. And when you don't track those activities, you're not going to get that consistency. And third, and most importantly, please, this comes from tons of experience. I promise you, if you don't track your activities, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be banging your head against the wall. And the reason is because you don't know what works and what doesn't. You're blind to the activities that should be, producing the results that you need. So control the controllables. Track the activities that produce the sale. Stick around tomorrow. I'm going to share with you after you implement the system of magnitude what you need to do next.